at independent India and after. Okay. But if I tell you about independent India, okay, if I tell you about independent India, and if you are willing to tell me on that topic, okay, without letting you know what happened during the period, like we have come up to 1835 onwards, right? We have come to 1835 and onwards, and we have also learned about Wood's dispatch, right? Wood's dispatch, clear? And then we have come to know Wood dispatch expanded education in India. It means according to Wood's dispatch, according to Wood's dispatch, we have got a structured education system. A structured education system. Why? Wood dispatch recommended setting up of schools, nursing, technical foundation, or setting up of nursing colleges, technical education institutes. Okay. Other things are specially arrangement for girls' education. Okay. It was a structured education system, and it was gifted. It was given due to, or Indians got it due to Wood's dispatch, because it is because of Wood's dispatch we got a structured education system, right? Because primary schools, secondary schools, colleges for nursing colleges, technical education, colleges for technical education, and engineering colleges was set up all over the country. And after Wood's dispatch, it means we got recommendation for 3 universities, and it happened in 1854, and in 1847 we got 3 universities: University of Calcutta, University of Bombay, and University of Madras. Is that clear? You got? Now my question is, when we have got universities, colleges, even educational institutions for girls, it means India got a new look. India got a new look. But if I don't tell you about Raja Rammohun Roy, it would be wrong. I need to say something about it. It was because of Rammohun Roy's efforts we got the opportunity to be a part of modern India. Because Rammohun Roy modernized India. How did he do that? He actually wrote some articles in the newspapers, some essays. He contributed to some newspapers, right? And Shobhit, I will tell you everything in Bengali, in nice Bengali also. Was that clear? So you don't worry about it. And I'm going to finish it as quickly as possible. Now, Raja Rammohun Roy was not only a writer of essays, he was not only a journalist, he was not only a philosophical Indian of that time, he was a friend, he was a reformer also. He wanted to reform the society. The India of that day was full of superstitions. Indians were fighting for their rights. The women were inside the 4 walls of the rooms, 4 walls of the houses. They were not allowed to go outside. They were deprived of their rights to equality. They didn't feel equal. They always it seemed to them as if life has come to a standstill for them. What was possible for them was, what was impossible for them was easily accessible or possible to the main. Society was male-dominated society. Now, the women of today do not understand what it meant to be free. They can feel free to go wherever they want. But the women in those days struggled for independence, struggled for freedom, struggled for rights, struggled for equality. Why? Because they felt cut off from the mainstream society. They were not allowed to go to school. They used to go their brothers going to school. But when it comes to their going to school, they were told, girls are not allowed to go to school. You better stay home. Is that clear? You are not allowed to go. Think of what happened to that woman or women of those days. The society was divided. So, a society without freedom for their women cannot be called a society. A society that is divided cannot be a good society. A society that will not do justice to its women cannot be a good society. Is that a good society? Is that a good living? Is that the country with the society in them, with this kind of society in them, be called good country? No. Right? So, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was first to voice his views. He raised his voice. No, I cannot accept this. He wrote thousands of letters to the British government. He wanted a system of education. What education? The Western system. He understood rational thinking, political knowledge, rights of equality, democracy were important for the India of that day. Because India had to free itself from superstitious belief. Society was superstitious. We full of superstitions. Society was divided and it was pathetic. Like those who were born in those days were the unhappiest people. Raja Ram Mohan did not like it, so he wrote articles, he contributed, he wrote essays, he even translated some books, even he translated some works. Even he translated Upanishads. Because you have to write the answers to questions. Ram Mohan Roy, I have many questions. Did you see contribution of Ram Mohan Roy? Another very important thing, I am giving the answers in the lecture. Is that clear? I am giving the answers to all the questions, all the long-term questions, long answer type questions that I have given. Then there are some writers. Who are they? Who are they? Hello, the three writers. Mukraj Anand, then Raja Rao, another is Malgudi Days, the writer of Malgudi Days. What is the name of that writer? R.K. Narayan. These three writers were seen as 3B. Why? These three, through their fictions that they wrote, educated the people about India. Raja Rao wrote about philosophy, Indian philosophy. He acquainted or he made the world, he connected the world, the Western world with Indian philosophy, Indian spiritual belief, Indian religions, Indian culture. You know that fellow, another person, his name R.K. Narayan, he told the stories of day-to-day life. Malgudi is a place, but it is a place of imagination. He imagined it. It existed in his imagination, and he said the stories of day-to-day life. A simple description. He told the people about Indian society, Indian villages, lifestyle, the ordinary people. Understood? Then came another very important, Mukran Anand. Okay? This fellow actually looked at the problems of Indian societies. He looked at the way the Dalits live. He looked at how untouchability was doing harm to the life of the people. So he protested against it. How did he protest? Through his writings. He told the world about discrimination in the name of caste, community, religion. That is how a section of Indian was being tortured. Was being, hello, a section of Indian were being ill-treated. Was that a good thing? It was not a good thing to do, isn't it? So these are the three characters. Apart from those characters, we have got Rabindranath Tagore. You may, maybe there may be question like, discuss the character of contribution of Rabindranath Tagore in the development of Indian language and Indian literature. Okay, if you are supposed to write the answer to that question, what will you write? Rabindranath Tagore was one of the most famous poet, right, of the world, right? This man, Rabindranath Tagore, got awarded Nobel Prize, right, for literature. He was first Asian to get it. It is Rabindranath Tagore who made the world know about Indian literature. Rabindranath Tagore made Indian literature known to the world. He familiarized, he connected the world of Indian literature with the world. World came to know about Indian philosophy, Indian spirituality, Indian society, Indian ethics, understood? Or the classics. And world understood how valuable the poems that he gifted the world with. Like if you read one of the poems, like whenever I read Rabindranath Tagore, I sometimes one of the poems, I'm just reciting few lines. Like I had gone begging from door to door in the village path when thy golden chariot appeared in the distance like a gorgeous dream, and I wondered who was this king of all kings. Thy glance fell on me, thou camest down to smile and say, what hast thou to give to me? In this poem, Rabindranath is saying that he was describing a beggar. And the beggar was going from door to door. Why? In search of alms. He was begging from door to door. A beggar cannot live his life without begging from door to door. Naturally, it was his duty. But suddenly, that beggar, generally beggars go here and there with wallets in their hands. Understand? So naturally, the beggar suddenly saw a king of kings from all kings, Raja in Bengal, came in front of him in his chariot and he extended his hand. He extended his hand. Why? He is saying, give me something. That king is saying to the beggar, requesting the beggar to give me something. What will happen? What happened to the beggar? The beggar said, it was a kingly jest. You are making jest, you are joking with me, and the joke is kingly joke. It was a kingly joke to him. Why are you doing this? Why are you begging from me? Why have you extended your hand? Actually, the poet says, hello, what is it about? Okay, now I want to tell you. Actually, here I am just giving a glimpse of Indian philosophy. Try to understand. Try to understand. What does I really am very, very angry. I don't want this to go on. If you have something to say, feel free, no problem. Okay, now I just want to give you a little information about philosophy. Okay, I want to give you information about the philosophy. about the touch of philosophy in this poem. What actually what does the beggar want to say when a beggar is extending, when a beggar sees that a king has extended his hand to him to get something from him? So what actually happened, do you know? Why does a beggar, what does a beggar think of the king? First, the beggar thought that it was a kingly joke, number one. And number two, actually, what the poet wants to say through these lines is, the poet says that a man cannot find himself in union with God unless and until he sacrifices his desires. We have a stomach. When it is empty, we do not know anything. Because it is because of our stomach we do work. And if someone comes and says, give me your food, what it means? What does it mean? What happened actually? Is it not working? Okay, fine. Now my question is, when it is not working, what does it mean? When you are not being, when the beggar has extended his hand, he said, actually the King of Kings was God, and the God wanted to taste him. He wanted to know whether this man is fit to be a part of a holy life or not. Whether this man is free from greeds or not. If God came to you, He just wanted to know whether you are free from guilt, whether you are free from desires. Because if you are a beggar, what do you understand by a beggar? Those who have nothing. If you are a beggar, you feel free to go wherever you want. And even if you don't have a house to return to, you are a beggar. Because someone who has nothing of his own is a beggar. So why are you worried when it comes to giving something? So Rabindranath through these lines wants to say that those who want to find themselves in union with God should make sacrifices. Unless and until you free from your evil desires, you cannot find yourself in union with God. Is that clear? Sorry. So that is how Rabindranath Tagore contributed to the development of Indian English language and literature. And Rabindranath, how many songs did Rabindranath write? Can you tell me? Rabindra Sangeet, he has written as many as 2,000 songs. Okay, he is very popular. How many short stories did he write? Many short stories. So the world came to know about him. Is that clear? When was Rabindranath Tagore born? Hello, when was he born? 1861. I'm sure. I'm not sure. He was born at Jorashapur in Calcutta. When did he die? He died in 1941. Is that clear? My knowledge of history is very bad, no? Okay, fine. Rabindranath, this great man, left us. Rabindranath fought for the independence of our country. How did he fight? Through his contributions. He even gave up knighthood. Knighthood was given to him. He sacrificed it. I don't need it. When you are torturing our people, when you have told Sanders to kill thousands of people in the Jallianwala Bagh, I don't need your knighthood. Understood? That is how they protested. That's how they made impossible possible. Another thing I want to tell you. Look at what is the contribution of Sarojini Naidu. I told you about Sarojini Naidu, no? Question I gave. Sarojini Naidu is known as the Nightingale of India. Nightingale of India, because she is the only poet who wrote about Indian culture, Indian nature, Indian philosophy, Indian life, Indian society. Clear? And of course, he celebrated the beauty of nature through his poems. This is why her language was good, because she studied outside India, in England, and she was born and brought up in Hyderabad. She became a governor of one of the biggest state of India after independence. This that is Uttar Pradesh. Clear? And she was the first woman president of Indian National Congress, and she was elected in 1925. Understood? So she was famous. She not only contributed to the development of Indian English literature, she also participated in the Indian independence movement. Is that clear? And she was president Indian National Congress. Clear? Now another very important character you must ask me. There is Tarudar. I have told you a lot about Tarudar. Who was Tarudar? Tarudar was born in Calcutta, Ramnagar. In Calcutta, in Calcutta. She belonged to a high cultured family. She had to go to France. But this little girl composed our casualty at a very young age. And it was in France. And in French also she contributed. And she was very, very good writer. And our casualty is very, very famous. She was first to encourage other budding writers. Like Sarojini Naidu. And there is another very good poetess, and her name is Kamala Das. Sarojini Naidu. These people felt inspired and they also contributed. Another character I want to talk about is Louis Vivian Dirosio. Understood? Louis Vivian Dirosio was the founder of Young Bengal. And I must say that, like Tarudar, she also died at young age. Tarudar died at the age of 21. And Vivian Dirosio also, he also died young. He was a professor of English language. He wrote many poems. He is father of Indian poetry. Who? Vivian Dirosio. It is because of Vivian Dirosio, the next generation, the later writers felt inspired and they also enriched the beauty of Indian literature. Is that clear? So I am sure that you have got a lot of information about a lot of people and I am sure that you understood. Okay? And I have given you the answers to all the questions that are very important. Now, this period, these people fought. Actually, there is one topic and the topic is Swadeshi is there, no? Swadeshi. English and the struggle for Swadeshi and Indian independence. This one, it should be fast. What is Swadeshi? Of your own country. Of your own country. Why are you saying Swadeshi? The Macless Minute, Lord Macless Minute and Wood's Dispatch changed the education system in India. Many great Indian writers were born and brought up. They contributed to the development of magazines and all. India changed. India entered modern age and we became Indians who are part of modern age. And these modern people, what did they do? They started thinking of Swadeshi, of their own country. English made you English. Understood? English created, actually through their education system, English created black Indians. British, Indian in color, but British in education, thinking, administration. Only their color is black. But in thinking, in attitude, in everything, they were British. They succeeded in doing that. But this system also contributed to the development of a generation of people who fought for independence. Fought for independence of the country. How did they fight? Contributed articles, magazines, wrote so many books, right? So many articles, so many poems. Thousands of people contributed. And that is why independence of the country was possible. There were many leaders, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Roy. Okay, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Roy, and Bipin Chandra Pal. They all encouraged in games. Then there was Rishi Aurobindo. He was also one of the greatest writers of India. He talked at length about Indian philosophy. These people encouraged Indians. You need to fight. Of Swadeshi, think of Swadeshi, think of your own country. How? The concept of this came in 1905, means 1905. Bengal, East Bengal, that is Bangladesh now, and West Bengal, that is India, West Bengal of India, war won. It was Lord Curzon who divided, bifurcated Bengal, cut Bengal into two parts, East Bengal and West Bengal. Why? Why did he do it? It is because Bengalis became freedom fighters. Bengalis couldn't be controlled. So, if I cut Bengal into two halves, then we can put down the Bengali freedom fighters. And that was why he cut Bengal into two halves. Who was it? Lord Curzon. Why did he do it? He did it just to punish Indians. He tried to weaken the Bengali. He tried to, make the ground under the feet of the Bengalis sleep, so that they cannot remain standing properly. That is how they tried to put down the resistance movement, fight for independence. But they did not do anything. When they couldn't do anything, then in 1911, they shifted the capital of India, that is Kolkata. Kolkata was the capital of India. They shifted it from Calcutta to Delhi. When? In 1911. But we didn't give up. We didn't give up. Indians were not ready to listen to it. They said, we must not go to BTC school. Why? Because we are thinking of Swadeshi. We will not wear coats and boots and shoes given by the British. We are thinking of Swadeshi. We are thinking of our economy. We must not wear things coming from outside India. That is how the Indians started thinking, and the British suffered. They imported things that were to be given to the Indians. The Indians are burning things. British goods are being burned to ashes all over the country, and the British economy suffered heavily. And our industry, what was that? That is handicrafts, isn't it? We have done good to the Indian economy, our own economy, Swadeshi economy, and that is how India benefited. And now my question is, and then that is how they were actually, Indians were protesting. And finally, in the Quit India movement, what happened? Then Mahatma Gandhi came from South Africa. He was a lawyer. Why did he leave South Africa? He wanted to participate in the Indian freedom movement. And he came, then Salt Satyagraha, Labanandana. Salt Satyagraha was organized. Then he organized Quit India. All Indians were brought together to test against it, make them go. And British, because of world wars, First World War, Second World War, British had to leave India because many British ships were destroyed by the submarines of Germany. British had to leave the country. British was left with no access to leave the country. They had to go. That is how we got independence. You got independence, now you are very happy, okay? Now our happiness, we were not happy. Even though we got independence, we were not happy because there were many states. Even though the country was divided into two parts, it was because of Muslim League wanted a separate country for them, and Bangladesh and Pakistan went to Pakistan, and that is how India was left with Myanmar and all, and we were happy. But there were many states. We have Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, and these people are saying, no, we don't need Hindi to be the national language of India. That is called Language Commission. And when was it made? We got independence on 14th August 1947. On 15th August 1947. After independence, there was Constituent Assembly, and we accepted the Constitution of India on 26 January 1950. Got it? After the Constitution was accepted, we Indians became independent, but our problems did not come to an end. Our problems began. But as English was a linked language, you know linked language? Because English was the language we used to communicate with other states of India. If I am Bengali, but I can communicate with Tamil through the use of English language. That's how English became a linked language, which the people all over India. So maybe we freed our country from British rule, but we could not free our country from English language. Clear? We freed our country from British rule, but we couldn't free ourselves from English language, because as English has already become a linked language. Got it? And people dependent on English to communicate with one another. That's how it played a very important role. Clear? Got it? So your topic is over, and then English Language Commission. There was a commission. Language Commission was formed. When was it formed? It was formed in 1960. When was it formed? English Language Commission, 1955. After 1920, it was just a commission to study the need for language, national language, whether Hindi can be accepted as a national language or not in case of English. But again, English Language Act came into force in 1963. Then in 1965, we came to an understanding to make it a part of the 19th schedule of Indian Constitution. Of the 19th schedule of the Indian. So there are many languages that were given the status of national language, apart from Hindi. But Hindi is beginning to be used and English is beginning. But English has become a linked language which you depend on, and apart from English, Hindi is being used. But as the judiciary worked under the British rule, naturally we were familiar with legal terms, medical, engineering and all. Is that clear? So I am sure that all of you understood at least both the topics, and that's how that's how we got. Even now we cannot free ourselves from English language. So here we got about Swadeshi and independence, struggle for independence. We have struggled for it a lot. So many writers, so many people, and then riots. Riots happened, but we will talk on these two topics in our next class. Is that clear? And now I want to tell you, especially you, if I tell you in Bengali, okay, will it be good, all of you? Hello, Swastik, if I tell you everything about anything, whatever you have heard in English, if I tell you in Bengali, will it be good? At least just to listen. But before that, should we complete the video and all that, or can I make it a part of our class in Bengali also? Conclude. This video should end or what? Should I tell you? Bengali will be a part of this class also. Okay, I'm just explaining the class in Bengali. দেখো কি হয়েছিল, তুমি যদি স্বদেশী কথাটা বলো, স্বদেশী মানে কি নিজের দেশে, তোমাকে if you think that my class on Indian English literature and English language benefited you, please give me at least one like. Bye. Is that clear? Finished? আচ্ছা ছেড়ে দাও। এবার দেখো